Hey guys, I'm Sid.
And I'm Mike.
I'm Parker, and this is the Try Hard Podcast. Welcome back, everyone, to episode 5 of the Try Hard Podcast. And as you heard, we do have a new jingle for the podcast from the one and only, the man himself, Mr. Ari Clow. Huge thank you to him for making that for us. I don't know. I thought it was pretty darn sick, didn't you guys?
Sweet. Loved it.
Yeah.
I
I
told him
did.
he should make an entire like soundtrack out of that, like a longer version.
hmm
Yeah. I gotta figure out how to download that and put it on my workout playlist. It's good.
Put in, adrenaline.
Yeah. I don't know if it fits that playlist, but it different one.
Yeah, different
More
one.
of like an EDM style playlist for sure.
But we have a good episode for you guys lined up for you today. Since I'm going to be releasing this on the Friday, I think before the Clash Miami race, so the day before, literally. So I thought today we can maybe start off, talk about just keep it short, talk about the weekend's worth of trainings that we had, since we all had pretty big weekends, and then we can get kind of right into it and talk about Clash Miami, who we think is going to do well, who we think is not going to do too well, and then finish off with maybe a segment or two, talk about workout of the week or a gel or something like that you've tried. Speaking of gels, really quickly, and nutrition products, Raw is coming out with their new endurance line. If you guys want to pick up some carb mix, we can also talk about this as well because I think by now I know Mike has it. Seid, have you picked up any Raw yet?
No, I haven't ordered yet, but I'll be probably ordering by the end of the week.
All right, so maybe we'll say that for the next episode. Then we can talk about the new Raw formula. And yeah, so it's going to be a good episode today. But before we get started, as always, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this podcast, the Naperville Acupuncture Center. If you're in the Chicagoland area and are looking to get some dry needling or acupuncture done, I cannot recommend them enough. I've been going to go see Frank and Angela every week for the past couple of months, and they have been key in keeping me healthy and enabling me to elevate my training. As a special offer, if you mention my name or this podcast during your visit, you'll receive a discount on your very first treatment. All right, back to the show. You guys want to get into it?
hmm
Do it.
Are we starting with so are we doing are we just starting with our predictions then?
No, we'll do the weekend of training.
Weekend of training, sweet.
Oh, and I was gonna do a giveaway with Rob, but no one really entered. I had like 2 people enter it. So I think we're gonna wait a little bit longer to see if anyone else. If you guys do want to enter a giveaway and win some free Raw stuff, then or Revive, check out the post on the Try Hard Podcast Instagram or my personal Instagram. And speaking of which, this is also on YouTube. So if you want to see our beautiful faces, then check out the Try Hard Podcast on YouTube. I think we have 4 subscribers now. And I think 2 of those are my channels. We're getting there. All right, say kick us off. How was your weekend of training?
Awesome. So I started Saturday with my first like full triathlon break kind of. So I did a morning swim into a bike and a runoff. So my main set was 400 pull into 4 by 100, then 300 pull into 3 by 100, and then 2 by 200 pull into 2 by 100, you know how it goes. So I really enjoyed the swim. So it was like really fun just waking up super early on a Saturday. So I woke up like 5:30, got to the pool by 6, in the water like 6:15. So that was great. And that kind of like mimicked race day. So really like that. It was my first time like doing a swim that early on a Saturday. And it was just I didn't realize club would be like packed. 16 out of the 18 lanes were just club swimming. So it was like so full. And then there's 2 lanes for like the public. And then I
Can
got
you
perfect.
join them? Can you join that club or is it like private?
No, it's like it's a private club, and I definitely could not keep up. Like they pay like monthly. I think they pay it's like yearly memberships, and it's like based on age group. So it's actually like competitive. They're like all competitive, and they're like way better than me. So it would not be like worth joining. It's clearly kids that started like swimming since they were 5. They're all like insanely fast. But yeah, so I was in the lane with 5 people, so I was doing Ironman efforts in like a packed lane, so that was great to make race day. Then I did a 4.5 hour big gear ride. So this was a lot like similar to last weekend, except these intervals were there's just more of the intervals, so
More.
it was not fun. And then the last one, there's more of them and less rest, so that just equals a harder workout. But yeah, this workout, like especially after the swim, like first 2 set of intervals, just like I was dying, and then the last one, because it is like the last one, I would just tell myself like, oh, I've already been on the bike for 3.5 hours, like I have to kill this last set, or I just wasted 3.5 hours. So that also always like motivates me on these long rides.
And
Uh,
what was the workout exactly?
so it was 20 by 3 minutes at race watt or like race pace, so 230 watts at low big gear, so like holding 60 RPM. Then 20 by just a little bit over race watts, so 235. That was 2 by 20, also big gear at 60. Then you finish it off with 25 by 1 minute at 250, holding and like big watts again. I mean, big gear again at 60 RPM, but only 45-second recovery, and the other ones were all a minute. So your legs are already like dead, and then just like the big gear just like fries your legs. I just call this workout like the leg shredder because it's just your legs really do die. And then I had a like pretty easy runoff. I was like dumb, so like my during like long breaks, my brain turns off, and I didn't look at the notes, and I thought it was 3 at Ironman pace, but it was 2, so I did 3 instead. But it felt good, so I did 1 warm up and 3 at just 8 minutes. And that felt really good after the 5 actually. So it was like holding like 148 to 150 heart rate, which is like good for me, especially coming off the bike. So that was really good. That was fun. And then today I had a 15-mile run, and I'm like still toast from that. I'm just like so tired. Just finished like 2.5 hours ago, and I'm just still tired from it. So it was supposed to be 9 easy into 5, building from 7:30 to high 6 pace. But I got like so I was just like I did instead of just 9 like pure easy, I did a 9 easy build. So I just kept building like by 5 seconds each mile, and that felt really, really good. Heart rate felt fine, except the first 8 miles, like mile 2, I just really had to go to the bathroom, and that's the next 6 miles were just running down, waiting to get to the porta potty, and that was like the hardest part of the workout. And then the build was really fun, so I was supposed to do 7:30 to high sixes, but I ended up doing so I started the build at what is it? So I did 723, 714, 706, 640, and ended off with the 619. And I'm just like so tired. That's like this weekend's like that was like a big weekend for me, and now I'm just still toast from the weekend. But overall, really solid weekend, and got a lot of work done and felt really good. I'm excited to keep building.
Yeah, I will say I was very. I'll put a picture up for those of you watching on YouTube of Seid's progression graph. That is one of the best progression graphs I have ever seen. I was very, very impressed with that.
Thanks.
That's actually so. I'm giving Seid and Mike, for those of you that are new or just listening in, Seid and Mike are both of my athletes, and Natasha gave me that same bike workout that Seid did, I think 2 weekends ago, 2 or 3 weekends ago. And I remember doing that with the 45, and I think Mike, you had that same workout this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And so that 40, you can talk about it too, but that 45-second rest, it's literally just enough for you to like take a sip and for that lactic acid just to leave, and then it hits you right again. So it's like, like no, it's brutal. But yeah. Mike, you want to go?
You've just been on
Yeah,
your bike for so long that like your heart rate doesn't even really recover. So
yeah,
it
that's
just
exactly it.
it just does not recover, and it just hurts.
Yeah. So yeah, I did the same workout as Said, 4.5 hours with that like 3-2-1 at around goal Ironman effort. So 20 times 3 minutes at 2:35, then 20 times 2 minutes at 2:39 or 2:40, and then Zwift rounds up, and then 25 times of 1 minute at 2:48 with that 45-second recovery. And I was texting Seid during like the whole workout, except for the middle portion when I kind of was in a spicy mood, but I just put my phone on do not disturb and then flipped it over. And actually at one point I took my headphones out. I was like, I don't even want to listen to music right now. This is just not fun.
No
We were just
music?
we were
No,
just texting.
just for a little bit. Yeah, no music. I was like, I can't. Nothing is sounding good to me right now. Just need silence. And yeah, I think going into it, I think I was just like, oh, this is just gonna be such an easy workout. Like, there's nothing crazy, no like tempo, like high tempo efforts or sweet spot or anything. It's just, and then I didn't realize it was low cadence. So that first interval, when I see it pop up on Zwift and it's like spin slower, I'm like, oh no.
I'm under tension.
Yeah, but the good thing that like I guess really helped me through it was trying to fuel higher than normal. So like the last
Yep.
few weeks on all my long rides I've been shooting for like 90 to 100 grams of carbs per hour, and that has sat pretty well with my stomach. And then this ride I prepared like 122 grams of carbs worth of stuff. I only was able to take in about 110, just like I think I need to make each bottle have more carbohydrate in it, not as many bottles. I had like 6 bottles. I drank 5 of them. So it worked. And then I ended up just like downing half of the other one before my brick run. But yeah, then I ran afterwards and just did like 45 minutes easy. Went out a little harder than I would say easy though. I've been running inside on the treadmill for the last 7 weeks, and this is the first week that I went back outside. So I've noticed like when I do run outside, I'm like, oh, I feel so much faster, but my heart rate is was definitely high on that run. It was like 155, and I probably should have been below like 147 would have been the goal, but everything felt good, and it's kind of nice to run in the pouring rain after the long indoor bike. So I told myself, I was like, I cannot look at a treadmill right now. I need to need to go outside. So and then yeah, today was just mostly recovery stuff, 30-minute recovery spin. Which actually was nice because I just got some new bike shoes that I was very eager to test out. Um, so I got to try those today and love them. And then after that, I went to the pool and did a nice big pole session of about 3,700 yards, doing 500, 400, 300, 200, 100 kind of um, a pole ladder. So yeah,
I thought you were swimming. Weren't you swimming a long course today?
I was supposed to, but they actually closed the pool because they had a swim meet. So
Oh.
Ezra decided to go out for his long ride. He like swapped his Saturday and Sunday around. So he went out for his long ride today, and I just went to the pool and just hit it solo.
Speaking of swim meets, I think I saw a story on Lionel or Sam Long story. Weren't they at a swim meet today?
Yep.
They were, and I think Lionel beat Sam.
Really?
Yeah, he
I
did.
Somebody, yeah, was it on your left or someone
Yeah.
posted about it?
Mhm.
Which is
What was the event? Do you know what they swam?
1,500 meters, I think.
Oh wow.
yeah, yeah. And I found that surprising because last year when Sam and Lionel I think were swimming together, it seemed like Sam had pretty much just like surpassed Lionel and it wasn't that close anymore. But I think all the work that Lionel's putting in on the swim right now is really paying off. He's doing like
Do you
30,000.
follow him on Strava or Form?
I do on form. It's like
Form.
he's you Lionel and you, Parker, are the only people I follow on form, and it's just like it's so much, so much swimming.
Yeah. That you see the sets and the thing is something that he's mentioned a few times. It's not easy swimming what he's doing. Like I can tell from the intervals that they're short, not too short, but like 100 to 300 yards and they're fast or faster than what he has used to be swimming. So I
Yeah.
he's been putting in, yeah, I think he's on that he's going all in, which I think he needs to. If he wants any chance of placing in Kona, he can't come out of the water, behind Christian and Sam. Yeah, there's just no way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's swimming so much, he's got the frosted tips now from
Yeah.
playing
Yeah.
in the sun and swimming with no cap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
How
looking
about
now. So he swam a 1938 for 1500. That's like pretty good for him, I feel
what
like.
pace is that? Does it say?
Wait,
No, it doesn't
what
say.
was it? 19,
1938 for 1500 meters. And then Sam was just 20 flat.
Okay, so close.
Yep.
70. That's like a 118 per 100 meter pace.
That's a 110 yards. Wow, that's quick.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's about my I wouldn't say all out, but that's close
Yeah,
to my all
that's
out.
my all out. Yep.
that's an up tempo.
Yeah.
Also, Seid, speaking of your all out, I thought about that today. I don't know why it popped into my head. I think it was when you told me that you weren't flip turning yet, and you did a
You're
one.
not flip turning yet?
No, I'm trying. I tried.
So Seid visited me back in like November, and I told him you better learn how to flip turn by January. That's ridiculous. I'll put out your training peaks and replacing every swim with flip turn practice.
No, I've been practicing at the end of each at the end of each swim a little bit. I don't I turn my form goggles off and practice a little bit. But like during the actual workout, it just throws me off so much. I need to start throwing it into the workouts, but it's so bad. I know.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to throw you under the bus there, but when you told me that, I was like, 110 not flip turning is actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
That's
Like a 10, that's almost like a 107.
yeah.
Hopefully.
107, yeah.
Uh,
Solid. Although I always find when I'm swimming hard and I flip turn, my lungs always are gonna blow up. Yeah. It's gonna hit. Speaking of lungs blowing up, let's talk about my VO2 bike workout I did on Saturday. So this week was a bit of a down week because I have talked with my coach in the past and we have decided to start implementing a down week pretty much every 3 weeks, just with how much I'm training. I was pretty much already taking a down week every month or so, but not planned. It popped up because of injury, sickness, just whatever you want to call it. And so now in training peaks, every 3 weeks, we have a down week. And so pretty much took the first few days relatively easy. And instead of my normal hard Saturday, or it was still hard, but instead of my normal 5 to 6 hour Ironman bike workout that I have been doing on Saturdays, we decided to redo a VO2 bike session that I kind of blew up on 2 weeks ago. And I knew I had the fitness to accomplish it or to successfully do it back then, but it was 2 days, I think, after actually it might have been after that workout that you guys did. It was that one or a similar one. And so my legs were just fried when I tried doing the VO2 bike set. So Saturday, you had that VO2 bike set, and then we added on some extra endurance work. So it ended up being 3 hours total. But the main set, it was 2 rounds of 4 by 3 minutes. So it was really only 24 minutes of hard riding, but the actual ride was 3 hours long. And back when I did this, 2 weeks ago, I averaged, so it was 2 rounds of 4 by 3 minutes with 3 minutes recovery in between each, and then 10 minutes recovery between each round. 2 weeks ago, I averaged 345 for the first four, and then the goal was to hit 360 for the second four. And I hit 359, 350, and then I hit this past weekend, or rather on Saturday, I averaged 350 watts for the first round. And then what I was really stoked with, I went 363, 365, 365, and then I finished with a 372, and I almost fell off the bike after doing that one. So I was very happy with how that bike workout went. I don't know about you guys, but whenever I get a chance, or whenever I fail at a workout, I'm always kind of excited and kind of not excited because I know there's a very large likelihood that I'm going to have to be redoing it. But then I also know, especially if it's a workout like this one where I know I could have done it, It's like the feeling you get after accomplishing a hard workout like that and like nailing it. Man, I was over the moon with that one. And then I was supposed to
Parker,
do, yeah.
before you go on, so like when you do those intervals, do you do those on erg or off erg, and like
No,
why?
I do pretty much anything over 290 watts, I take off erg.
Hmm.
Unless it's like super short. So like super short rest. Like so like for example, those when I did that workout that you guys did, I pretty much kept that entire workout on erg just because, the short rest.
Mhm.
But I just find when you have erg on, it's almost like pedaling in mud. So I don't know how some people do it. I know Seid, you always like keeping her on,
I like it,
and
yeah.
Mike too. But what I do is so I actually run my Mike does this too. I run my Garmin at the same time because for some reason Zwift doesn't show lap power, which really annoys me. So what I
Yeah.
do is I run my Garmin at the same time and I create the workout and then I have it lap with the workout on Zwift so I can see what my average power is for that lap on or
Yeah.
during the workout.
Mm.
So I'm not guessing. So that's the only. But if I couldn't do that, then I would probably keep it on erg because
Oh, okay.
pretty graphs. I
Mhm.
get I get so mad when I think I finish an interval. Let's say the target watts is 300 watts or something. And then I think, my Garmin shows 300 watts or whatever. And then I check Strava after and it's like 299. I'm like, come on, come
It,
on.
it's like that happens all the time, Parker. Like if you go to check Training Peaks and you look at like say your peak 10-minute power or something that might have come from like a VO2 test or a ramp test, like that if you complete 3 minutes at 340 watts, like or say 10 minutes at 340 watts, like
Mhm.
your 10-minute peak power is 340, but then for some reason it's always like watt lower when you check like Strava or Training Peaks, and it's like
It's a Strava tax. Same thing with the distance. They always cut you like 0.01 short.
Mhm.
That's
yeah.
why I always finish the run and then I walk for a little bit and do something.
Yeah, I mean, and also back to that comment about like logging it on your Garmin as well as Swift. Like, I think it's a really good idea to do both simultaneously, just
In
for the
case one
fact that,
crashes.
yeah, if Swift crashes, which doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's that would be pretty annoying if you're in the middle of a big long ride and like you just lose all of your data. So
And I know there is a way to get Zwift to show lap power, but you have to download a bunch of stuff and then import it, and it's just not worth the hassle, in my opinion.
yeah, if you build the workout yourself and like yeah, you can add comments and like I think there's a line of code that you can put in there that like will display average power, kind of like how it does during the ramp test.
Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped working at Garmin, though. I don't want to write code anymore. All right, but then
Well,
after the run, I was supposed to do a treadmill run with some strides standing off the treadmill, and then hopping back on the treadmill. But because the weather was so nice and I'm trying to get a few more miles on pavement to harden up my bones, I decided to go outside. So we did easy 6 miles with a few hill strides. That wraps up. Oh no, and then we had a recovery swim. So normally I swim on Saturdays before the bike and run, but because I really wanted to nail that bike workout, I decided or Natasha gave me a recovery swim, so I did that after. Just working on form. What I'm really working on is my, let's see. So I think one of my, it's in the video. I think my left arm, when I enter the water, I skirt the top of the water and then I kind of pull wide instead of, kind of spearing the water more and then fingers down and then pulling right back. So I've been working on that. It's still a work in progress. Actually have a swim lesson tomorrow, so hopefully we can get that figured out. But that wraps up. Hit the sauna after as well, 30 minutes. Then Sunday we did the classic up the Alpy, up the
LP.
Alpy. Oh, speaking of Zwift and Alpy, I hit level 93 on Zwift today.
Ooh, nice.
The
What's the jersey
kit,
look like?
the kit is sick. It's like an out of this world kit. It's a super cool kit.
Nice.
Yeah, but
is
we
there
did.
when sorry,
Yeah,
real quick, when you hit a level 100, do you get Swift free for a year? I was hearing.
you do.
I heard that one of like I know the guy that hit it first ever, and he's the guy that bikes like 150 plus miles a day that I sent you the Strava story on.
Yeah, it's
But one of our mutual friends, we were talking about it over the weekend, and he was like, "Yeah, I think you get a full year free of Zwift when you hit level 100, maybe."
I'll
I'll have to look that
find out.
up.
Yeah. If anyone watching this or listening knows, drop a comment down below. Also, we might be doing a Q&A, so feel free to message us any questions you have for the pod on Spotify or here. Or it's Sunday night. I'm tired on Instagram. Anyway, so Sunday we had the hour 15 bike, easy bike up the Alpe, and then I had a very similar run workout that Seid had. We actually are filming a video comparing the naked belt to the nerd belt. So if you guys want to see which of these belts we think is better, or which one you think is better, then check out my YouTube channel. That will be coming out in the next few weeks. But I ran with my friend who's a 227 marathoner. He's fast. But I just had 15 miles. We did 9 miles, pretty steady, around 7-minute pace. And then we started dropping it. We started at a 6:30 pace. I think mile 8 was 6:30 pace. And then pretty much just shaved 10 seconds off every mile. Finished with a 5:40, which I was very happy about. And my heart rate didn't even crack 165. I think it maxed out at like 162. But my legs were just so shot from that from the VO2 bike set yesterday, my quads especially. And I haven't really been lifting weights this week because of the down week. So all that kind of combined, my quads, I just couldn't have it. They had no power in them. I had nothing left to give. Even though aerobically I felt awesome, just muscularly, like when we started that run, I was like, oh boy, I don't think we're gonna go sub 6:30 today. But yeah, I think you were also talking about that. Your legs were pretty shot, but then as soon as you kind of started warming up, it felt good.
Yeah, they were like really dead, and then mile 3, they felt fine. So I feel like that's what usually happens on Sunday. Like I just always I'm so fatigued from the day before. Once you get the blood going to the legs, they feel better. And for me, like honestly, today, like for my run, like only maybe the like I think I'm like aerobically not there. My legs feel like fine, but like my heart rate's so high, and I just like can't like I'm just like so gassed, which was like I thought was weird for me. Because usually my legs die first, but today is like my I just could not run anymore. But it was overall I really liked my workout too.
Yeah. Then after that, we did a little recovery spin. Then we hit the gym, did some full body, try to keep it light because I have some hard 100s and 200s in the pool. And Natasha's giving me sweet spot this week. Onto the sweet spot train. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, so pretty solid weekend to wrap up a pretty successful down week. Still healthy, not injured, knock on wood. And
What was your total training time for down week?
well, the thing is with Trading Peaks, it logs everything. So I log my sauna, so swim, bike, and run. I can look on Strava. I like how it separates it. So let's see, Strava, if I look. So bike was 15 and a half hours, run 5.5 hours, swim was 6. So we actually didn't really do a down week on the swim. The swim was the one, we reduced the intensity a little bit at the beginning, but swim was 6 hours and 45 minutes. So I still hit 25,000 yards in the swim. So we're just trying to keep the volume up. I'm trying to get on that Australian method.
Yeah, the 32-hour swim weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. I watched Dari Cloud's video today on how he was eating and still losing weight. I don't know, but Seid can attest to this as well. Whenever I'm an Ironman prep, my weight doesn't skyrocket, but it goes up.
Well, mine skyrocketed last.
Yeah, I remember Seid. Well, Seid was a little, I think, naive. I think how many calories he was eating. He'd send me pictures or videos of him after a breakdown, an entire gallon of full fat chocolate milk. I'm like, you burn a lot of calories, but you don't burn that many calories.
Yeah. Like I was still like taking like 120 grams of carbs an hour on like 5-hour breaks. I just drink a gallon of chocolate milk after like 30 minutes after that brick, and I think I gained 12 pounds during my Florida prep.
That's how you fuel workouts. I will say it's better to do that than do the opposite and lose 12 pounds during an Ironman prep. So speaking of that, the Norwegian Method podcast. uh,
Every time I'm about to eat a big meal or like eat something that I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm like, Olaf said it's all right.
yeah. Seid, have you listened to that yet?
Yeah, I was listening to in the middle of like the long ride, and I was like, oh, Olaf's voice is just too monotone right now. I have to turn this off. So I turned music on. I was like, I can't listen to him talk about just eating everything. Well, I need to finish that though.
That's pretty much all I got from it was, as long as you like your training, then eat as much as you want.
I feel like at least during like, because I've never done an Ironman build, only 70.3 builds, but when I have done 70.3 builds, I usually would lose a fair bit of weight. Like I feel like most off seasons I would be like around 175 pounds, and then like by race time, not even intentionally, I just would lose some weight. It would be like between 165 and 168. But now this time kind of had the same thing. Like I started the year around like 160 or 175. I'm about 167 right now, but I feel like it's been like very steady, and like maybe each week is like half a pound that I've been losing. But part of that I think is like actually fueling the workouts and the big rides. So I think, I mean, before I started working with Parker, maybe was doing up to 60 grams of carbs per hour at the most. I think like once in a race, I tried to go for 80 and just got my stomach was wrecked. So I was like, nah, never again. I don't need to have carbs. But yeah, now we're training the gut, and it's working for sure.
There we go. Carbs are king.
Should we do a gel review before we go into the Miami predictions?
Yeah, we can do that now. So, do you guys have a gel or some type of carb mix or something that you want to talk about? I know Mike.
I've got two.
Mike's
Yeah.
excited. All right, Mike, kick us off.
I am excited. I tried one gel from the feed, but it wasn't a performance gel, more of a recovery gel from Cherry Bundy.
Oh, the sleep one, right?
Yeah, the sleep one. It's got melatonin and magnesium in it. And normally I use triple magnesium from Pillar Performance every night, and I love it. And I've actually seen like a 5% boost in recovery on average with my Whoop data. It's nice. They like if there's a sleep journal and you log and say like, here are all the different activities I did the day before. Like, did you track your calories? Yes or no? Did you take magnesium? Did you take a CBD supplement? Like all things like that. And then it'll take those results and over a 90-day period tell you like, did it actually have a meaningful impact on recovery? And the compression boots, like you said, Parker, I like them, the feel of them, but yeah, they have not given me any recovery boost. But yeah, the magnesium helps. But I ran out of all that, so I was saving this gel for when I did run out. Tried it, and it would taste really good. I mean, it's like tart cherry juice, but it had 400 milligrams of magnesium, and I believe Pillar Performance has like 200 or 300 milligrams. So
Does that have melatonin?
The Cherry Bundy does, but the Pillar Performance does not.
Yeah, that's the melatonin. I've noticed that the melatonin will knock you out. I think that's what does it.
Yeah, I slept great.
You should try the raw sleep. The raw sleep has melatonin.
Okay,
It
yeah,
only has 3 milligrams though, which is good. So it's a little bit, but it's not crazy.
gotcha.
You
I
don't
might
want too much melatonin, I've heard. So, like, kind of
Yeah.
like if you use it too much, kind of messes with your sleep eventually. But was it like noticeably stronger than Pillar? Because I use Pillar too every night. And I love my Pillar, and because I
I
feel
would.
like hits me like I take an hour before bed, like
Yeah,
10 minutes before bed, just gets me like ready for sleep, and I love it.
I yeah, I would say it's pretty comparable to the Pillar Performance in terms of like uh, especially the magnesium is more so supposed to help you with your sleep stages, like getting you into, I think, slow wave and deep sleep. It's not so much supposed to make you feel tired.
Hmm.
Uh, that's, I guess, more maybe the melatonin. Um, but I thought it was great. And then there's another gel I tried that was awesome. which I was anticipating for a while, was the Bear Performance Nutrition Go Gel. They released their mixed berry flavor, and I would say that's up there in probably the top 3 or 4 gels that I like. It's the I would give it like 9.5 out of 10, and the only reason I would take a deduction off is the fact that it's like not really high carb. It's 24 grams of carbs compared to like something like the Science and Sport Beta Fuel. It's got 40. But just the flavor of the gel is awesome. So
How's the texture on that one? Because I know the Apple one's a little kind of like not like grainy, but there's a little texture to it. How's the
it's similar, a little bit of
similar?
texture. I feel like for some reason the Apple one is maybe a little bit more liquidy than the berry one. But yeah, the berry one, that's one where I'm like on the run, I want like 3 or 4 of those in my nerd belt or whatever whatever I use, or in my kit in one of my pockets. I just want to take a bunch of those. It's just like a nice change of flavor, and it's like kind of tart as well.
Nice. Yeah, so I don't really have a new gel or anything, but today for my long run I tried two before. So this is the caffeine version,
Oh.
but I had the regular version today because I already had a lot of coffee before my run. So it's blackcurrant powder. So it's like the website says it increases endurance, supports immunity, manages inflammation, promotes adaptation. But I think it just mainly it's supposed to increase blood flow. So it's kind of like if you're taking nitric oxide. So I didn't really notice
Beats.
beats.
Shout out
Yep.
to Beats.
I didn't really notice anything too crazy about it, I think, but the flavor wasn't too bad. But the bottle does look kind of creepy when you're drinking it because I had a see-through Martin bottle and you just like pour it in, it's like pitch black. But flavor wasn't too bad. Yeah, I think I would have to test it more to have a real opinion on it, but I'm definitely open to keep testing it. And I think I'm definitely gonna include some more in my next feed orders.
Yo, well, I'm going to talk about a Muir Energy gel. It's kind of a gel. Have you guys heard of Muir, tried Muir in the past?
Mm-mm.
It's they're not super high carb, but it's more the real food. So it's actually kind of similar to the BPN one, or have you had Huma, the chia one?
Yeah, I've had Huma.
Yeah, so it's kind of no, but what I like about this is that they have a few like almost like nut. It's the consistency is almost like a nut butter, so it's a little bit thicker.
Oh,
I wouldn't recommend this for like a race or something, just especially in the heat. But I like them. It's just a nice change of pace. So I tried the cashew lemon flavor. It's pretty nice. Pretty nothing special to write home about. I think I gave it like an 8 or 8.5 out of 10. But yeah, if you guys are looking for something with a little bit more of that real food consistency, it's similar to like a spring gel. I know spring also has some of those more real food gels, but I liked it. And I know they actually have they have two different types. They have a slow burning and a fast burning line of gels. And so the slow burning have more nut butter, I think, or they're thicker, they have more fats, whereas the slow burning are more carb based. So you guys want to try something else out. Oh, and then speaking of Pillar Performance, I'm actually a little different from these two guys. I've tried Pillar Performance in the past, and personally, I didn't notice anything. So, yeah, take that for what you will. But obviously, it works for some people. All right, on to Clash Miami. So I was thinking that I don't know. You guys want to start off with race predictions or talk about? Yeah, we'll start off with race predictions and then see if that leads to anything. So we'll just keep keep it going as it has been. How about Mike starts us off?
yeah, sure. How about we talk about the women first, and we'll all go through our predictions, and then we'll go
Yeah,
end with the men.
sounds good to me.
So for the women's race,
Oh, and I will say that I asked Mike and Said to write down their top three before this call. And then so yeah, we can compare, and then we'll obviously do a post race podcast as well. So it'll be interesting. Maybe we'll put a jar of nerdy nuts on the line for whoever gets the closest.
yeah.
All right, Mike, go ahead.
So yeah, so for those that are following along with the T100, I'm also gonna talk about like real quick, just like the distance of the race, because
Good call.
like some people maybe know, some people don't, but It's not an Olympic distance. It's not 70.3, and it's certainly not Ironman. It's an in between an Olympic and a 70.3. So just for reference, it's a 2 kilometer swim, 80 kilometer bike, and an 18 kilometer run. So compared to an Olympic, the swim is about half a kilometer longer. The bike is double the length, 40 kilometers longer, and the run is 8 kilometers longer. So before really like looking up the distances and comparing them, I thought that it was more beneficial to the faster runners and maybe the swimmers, but
Swimmer.
it's the opposite. Yeah, it's the swimmers and the bikers. Because 40 up to 80K, doubling that distance, that's a pretty big jump. Um, but for the start list, I mean, you've got pretty much like all of the top female athletes in the PTO rankings are going to be racing in the series. There's a couple big names that won't be at Miami, like Ash Gentle.
And
She's
Taylor
not gonna
Knibb.
be there. And who else did?
And Taylor Knibb too. No,
Oh yeah, that's right. And Taylor. And I think Taylor only is required to race maybe 3 to 4 of the races because she's
Mhm.
going for the Olympics. So,
Yep.
or she actually already earned her Olympic spot at the test event last year in Paris. So she's in.
Yep.
But you've got, I mean, a pretty star-studded lineup. But there is one athlete who just dropped out today. I don't know if you guys saw Imogen Simmons.
Hmm.
She twisted her ankle and she actually ended up with a grade 2 tear, she said. So unfortunately, she's going to be out and looking to make it to the next race, which I believe is Singapore. But um, I am actually in like a big group chat where they're doing a T100 fantasy, like a fantasy football draft. They're doing a fantasy triathlon draft, and where we each get to pick 3 athletes for the entire series. But um, that's been kind of fun and has helped me understand kind of who's racing and who's stronger. But my predictions from 1 to 3. I've got Anne Haug in first, and part of that's because I just listened to the PTO hype video about her.
Yeah.
Really sick.
I don't go to a race. Basically, she's like, if I'm going to the start line, I'm expecting to win. Like, she's not going there to be like a primer to get ready. Like, she's like in race shape. So, and that's kind of the opposite of what I've heard from some of the other female athletes that have like been active on social media. They're like, oh, this race is so early season. Like, I don't know how I feel. And I think some of them are just also being humble. But Anne Haugen first, best runner in the sport of the female athletes. So I got to pick her. And then my pick for second place, I think, is a little bit surprising, and I'm not doing a chalk pick here. I've got Lucy Byram. She
Hmm.
had a pretty crazy good year last year, and I remember listening to a podcast at the end of the year. It was the Triathlon Hour, and they were talking about some of the best performances of the year, comparing like Sam Laidlow's Nice performance and Lucy Charles Barkley's Kona performance. But they also said that one of the best female athletes of the year they thought was Lucy Byram. So I think that she could do well. She's coming from I believe the ITU distance. So she's probably got some speed. And then my third pick is Paula Finley. I was between Paula and Daniela Reef. It's Daniela Reef's farewell tour, but it looks like right now that Paula's in good shape, and I think she's gonna do well. So, how about you, Parker? Parker, and then we'll go to Seid.
Sweet.
So I am going to agree with the first choice. And actually, I wrote this before watching the PTO hype video, but then watching that, I'm like, okay, yeah, for sure. I think Annie Howe, yeah, I think she's gonna win. I just, yeah, she definitely looks like if she's showing up to a race, she's there to compete and she's gonna throw down. So I have her in first place. In second place, I have Paula Finley. I'm just a huge fan. I like that triathlon life. And like as Mike said, she's been healthy and consistent with her running, which has been kind of her weak point in the past. And she hasn't been injured, knock on wood, for quite some time now. And I think she's been running really well and she seems to be in good shape. And so if she can nail a good run, then I think she's gonna have a great day out there. And then third, Danielle Reef. I want to put LCB, Lucy Charles, in the top three, but I know with her running injury, I just don't think she's gonna be in top form. I think she's gonna have a great swim. She'll probably be in the front pack on the bike. She may even come off the bike in first place, but I just don't see in a world where she's able to hold on to that, especially with the how strong some of the runners are in this field and especially with her run injury. And I know she hasn't been at full force for quite some time, I think. So yeah, I'd love to see her podium, but I just don't. I think she will be much more competitive later on in the season, but at this opener, and I doubt she's gonna push it either. So I think she's gonna kind of take it easy and see how it goes. Or not easy, but she's not gonna risk anything on the run, at least. So
Yep.
All right, Seid.
Sweet. So yeah, just like you guys put Annie Hogg like number one. Like,
Watch her not even podium.
no, I think she like speaking of not podiuming, I think ever since she's moved up to long course, I think she's only missed the podium once ever or twice. Like she's the most consistent ever, and I think last year she came second and third. Or she came second, or it was second or third at Singapore, and the only reason was because of her she had a bike mechanical issue, and she just looked crazy at that race. And she wasn't even focusing on PTO last year. She was really focusing on Ironman. So really excited for her to really dominate. I think she could dominate the distance. So that's gonna be exciting to watch. Then number two, I put Emma Pallant Brown. I thought she's been really strong. I don't know. For me, I think she's like one of the lesser known, or I think she's still a pretty big name, but she's kind of like lesser known within truck. I think she's coming from she used to be big into was it aquabike before, I think. That's her original friend, I think.
That's a good pick too. I don't just for context for anyone that may not know from last year, she did not have a good race in Clash Miami, and I think she ended up passing out on the race course.
Yep, that's what. Yeah, she did.
Maybe this will be her revenge tour.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hopefully, she can come back strong like last year. She's want to get better from that. So I put her as number two, but that's also just kind of because honestly this one was hard for the woman because not having Taylor Knibb or Ashley Gentle, I feel like it's gonna be either Ann Hogg, Ashley Gentle, or Taylor Knibb for podium each time, and it's just gonna be various orders throughout the year, in my opinion, because I think them three are just clearly the best at this distance, in my opinion. That's what I just personally think. And then I put Daniela Reef as number three. Just farewell to her. I think she's gonna want to get on the podium in the first race, but take it slow throughout the year, and then try to peak later on. But I do see her on the podium.
Nice. There's before we move to the men, I just wanted to mention too, there's one athlete that I think could be poised for pretty good performance this year in the series, depending on how her Olympic qualification goes. But Taylor Spivey, she's one of the hot shots, and she's a really good ITU Olympic distance athlete. And I believe right now she's second in points to make the Olympics for the US. So she's right behind, Taylor already gained her spot. So I think Taylor Spivey would be next. But yeah, if she doesn't make the Olympics, I feel like there's a good chance she'd end up in more of these T100 races, and I feel like she would excel at this. So.
All right, you want to kick us off again?
Yeah, sure. So I bet my pick is for the first spot is probably the same as Seid's. We're gonna fanboy over Magnus. Maybe he's got a different idea though, but I think Magnus maybe. I know that he won't be in the first pack of the swim, probably in the chase pack, but I mean in the bike, I think that there's a really good chance he bridges that gap really quickly and then just gets
when
out.
You're warming up at 330 watts. There's not too many people that can stay with you.
No. And when you got 80 kilometers of that and some of the practice, in that one video that he posted where they're talking, they're doing race specific practice and he's going up to 425 watts and he's doing fine. I think he's going to open up a big gap. And his run is really strong too. I mean, he was running off the bike and training at doing 15 minutes, and then he slowed down to 16-minute 5Ks and was still under an aerobic pace. So I just think if he opens up a big gap, I think he's got the run legs to hold off some of the guys. But then second and third, I've got two Americans, but probably not in the order that most people would pick. I've got Sam Long over Jason West. And part of the reason for that is Sam recently raced a couple weeks back. I think it was end of December or early January, down in South America, and he did really well. And I also think he's going to be in pretty good shape coming off that race. So, and I feel like he loves these like big crowd races, like Daytona and Miami in the past. Like he really thrives when there's people cheering on and like in that stadium type performance and being on US soil. And I think he's going to be rocking an all USA kit, possibly USA bike too. I don't, he's posted something about his bike today, but it wasn't the one he's going to be racing on. So I don't know if it's the pink one or if he'll have a different one, but I think he's gonna do really well. And then I got Jason West in third. I would have Jason as say one or two, but I don't know. I think maybe he'll be I don't know if he's I think he's gonna save his peak for later in the season.
Sweet. Yeah, so I think my top pick is actually gonna be Jason West. I think I was watching that PTO hype video, but I chose him before. But with his run, and he hasn't been posting, or at least he doesn't have a too big of a social media presence. I haven't been seeing too much of him. I just think he's been grinding away this winter, and he's just gonna show up and lay down some fast splits. So I have Jason West number one. Number two, one with Magnus. Yeah, I think that Magnus and Jason will be coming off the bike together, but I think that Jason will outrun him. And then third, I'm gonna go with Rico Bogan from Germany. So, I think after 70.3 Worlds, I think he wants to kind of emphasize the fact that he's here to stay. So I think Rico will be number three. I wanted to put Sam Long in there, but I don't know. He'll be my fourth pick, I guess, if I had to choose.
All right, Seid, round us off.
So yeah, I put Jason West number one too. I just think he's, you said, grinding away the whole winter, and I think he's really gonna have some great splits. Then I wanted to put Magnus number one, but I think Magnus, like now, like I'm looking back at it, maybe should have put Magnus number one because I think he will be going really hard during this race. I think he's gonna really be focusing on Kona this year. At least he's my favorite, and I really hope he just focuses on Kona because like the T100 is cool and all, but like winning Kona is way cooler, and in my opinion, like a lot. So hopefully he can like really push the first couple races T100 and then really just focus on Kona later on. So I put him two. He's gonna be really strong. Number three, I put Heinrich. I thought he had I really liked watching him race, and I thought he had some really good races, especially at Singapore. I think he can really do some damage. So that's my top three. But honestly, the T100 is so hard. Like I have no idea what's gonna happen this year, and that's why I'm so excited for this race because like I just can't wait to watch and see like what the dynamics are. I think it's gonna be a lot easier to, or not. Honestly, it might not even be easier to predict after the first race because you never know. I think it's gonna just be good to have some more background going into the series because it is like you could kind of base it off like past year's performance, but I feel like these like fields are just like a little more deep and like I feel like the vibe of the whole series is a little different this year. So it's really hard to make predictions. So I feel like for both the women and the men, are just so hard to make the list. But I'm really excited to see this whole series this year. It's gonna be really exciting to watch.
Yeah, a lot of races too. It's gonna be like
Yeah.
a war of attrition, I suppose. Like who can keep it together for basically what we've got. Is it 10? No, less than 10 months. You've got starting in March, it's like 8 months maybe worth of racing. Because I think they go all the way up to October, November time, maybe. I know they're not racing in December because a lot of these athletes are targeting the half Ironman World Championship after, but maybe the last race is in uh, November.
It'll be interesting to see also how it changes as we get closer to the championship season. With Kona and Nice, how the athletes change their training to target different races and what races they race at and don't race at. So yeah, definitely very exciting, and will provide lots of content for us to talk about. That's for sure.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's pretty much. I think that'll be our longest episode yet, almost an hour. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And if you guys could please give us a 5-star rating and review on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening, we would greatly appreciate it. Comment what your predictions are. And yeah, next week we'll do a little recap and see who was closest. How does that sound? Any final words?
Just keep training hard.
All right. Yeah. Try hard.
Yep. Another week of trying hard.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. All right, we'll see you guys in the next one.
All right, guys.
See you guys. Hey.
Hello.
Oh. Man.
Tired?
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm so bad, dude. I'm so tired right now.
Did you even leave a comment on your run workout today?
I'm just so tired.
There he is.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Mike, how are you doing?
Good. Body feels okay.
Yeah. We were just talking. Seid didn't even leave a comment on his long run workout today.
Didn't even mention how beautiful the graph was. It just created art and then went to sleep.
Yeah.
I was impressed, man. That was good.
Yeah, I feel like pretty good. No, it's like starting to come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were hitting some pretty good paces there at the end.
Yeah, I was like, I'm already running. Might as well see if I can like push. And I was like, might as well. And I just tried, and it was fine.
I'm pretty sure in Training Peaks I wrote to descend from like 7:30 to 7.
No, you said 7:30 to 6:50s or like.
Okay. Yeah, not 6:10.
No, I didn't get a 6. No, I didn't get a 6:10. I'm
You did
slow.
6:18, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, but that's not a 6:10.
Close enough.
Plus, that was just my last one. I was like, I might as well just try. And I was like, I usually run with like Brad, and he couldn't this today. And I was like, I'm just running alone today. I don't want to get this done as fast as possible. Just woke up like this after like my last night after Dune, my legs were torched. It was so bad, so bad.
Parker, it was bad. Like I was texting Seid about it. I'm sitting in the movie theater and I'm wearing, I don't know, like Lulu joggers, and they've got like leather seats, and I just thought it felt like someone had turned up an 8 sleep to like 10, and I was just in a like sitting there, like felt like I was in a sauna. I'm just like sweating watching Dune. I could not get comfortable.
Isn't Dune super long?
Yeah, 2 hours
Yeah,
40.
I can't watch a movie over like an hour and a half or 2 hours. Unless it's like on a plane.
Yeah.
I can't remember the last time I was sat down, and I want to see it because I've heard great things about it. But yeah.
Yeah, I was locked in. I loved it. I thought it was really good.
It was quite a good one.
Do you turn your 8 sleep up? Like the heat up when you wake up?
I do. Yeah.
I
That
set it
that
to the max.
yeah,
The
I don't go that high, but it
the
forces
one issue I run into that though is if I get up and then I want to go back to bed, and then it's so hot, and then it's like, oh no, I got now I'm sleeping in like you said, a sauna.
yeah.
Wait, so like you can change temp on it? It doesn't do it itself? You just like do it manually too?
Yeah, so it's like that's the one thing I mentioned in the video. I wish it did was I wish that you could see a history when you have autopilot turned on. I wish it showed you when it changed it and why it changed it, because it doesn't do that.
Oh, it doesn't?
it changes it for you, but it doesn't tell you when or why. Like I've woken up a few times in the middle of the night to go like to the bathroom or something, and I'll see it's different than what I set it at, but it doesn't say like why or yeah. So I wish it did that.
You guys just usually keep it on like the coldest setting, or
Yeah.
yeah.
Pretty much, yeah. I think Seid, if you get one, you'll understand why as soon as as soon as you get it. Like just after all the training, the body's so hot, overheating all the time. Like
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Yeah, so
That's honestly one of the biggest reasons I left Texas was like in the summer, like even at night, it was still like 85, 90, 95, 100 degrees outside. It's like I can't sleep. Like, like I have AC blasting at 60 degrees, but my body was just so hot the entire time. It just yeah.
Yeah.
that sounds miserable.